Ndị be anyị ekele m unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi tata. Asịkwa m ka ụbọchị nke taa dịrị anyị na mma. Asịkwa m ka nke onye chiri ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, asịkwa m ọzọ na anyị ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu a ka ọ ya dịrịrị. Ise ise ise. Ụmụnne m ụmụ Chineke ụmụ ife, unu afụgo ka o si aga n'iru akwụkwọ. Unu afụgo ka ya bụ ife si aga. Unu afụgo ka ya bụ ikpe si wee gaa n'ụbọchị nke gara aga nke bụ 26 of February 2024. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ihe Ohaneze Ndigbo wetara ihu akwụkwọ ha kwuru gbasịta maka ya bụ ife na-ada na-akpọtụ n'obodo a bụ Naijiria. Mma achọ ka onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo and onye ọbụla bụ onye nwere onwe na-adị mma gee ya bụ ife nwanne nwoke nwere ikwu nwanne nwoke ọba ya ma njụ ya ajụ were ekwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife. You get say drop your own contribution, your own comment in the Eastern News 24. All right, over to you.
Let's hope something is done about this quickly as well. Let's just quickly move on to our next issue of discussion, where the military rule is no longer desirable. It's not only because it is brutal, but also abnormal. The Defense Headquarters has dismissed a claim of a coup in Nigeria, describing it as the figment of imagination. Well, in a statement in Abuja, the acting director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, said the claims of a coup and that of putting the Guards Brigade on high alert over unusual movements are malicious and unfounded. The Defense Headquarters has threatened legal action against purveyors of such rumors. BKO, they usually say there is no smoke without fire. Well, first off, why the spread of these rumors in the first place? It's neither the first I'm hearing about this coup plot. Why the spread of such rumors?
First is the people who are spreading it, they know what they are doing. It didn't start today. Before the inauguration, people who couldn't live with the possibility of Bola Tinubu being sworn in as president of Nigeria went to the Ministry of Defense to beg them to take over. And you look at the picture of people who went to beg. These are people who were not born the last time the military ruled Nigeria. They don't know anything, and they don't read. Because people who read and have the power of understanding will know that, look, a military rule is not what you want. It's not what you want to see.
Give us a perspective of what it was like when we had military rule, perhaps just for people to understand what it is like.
People, journalists are thrown into jail just for criticizing the government. There was one that happened in the South. A journalist published a story on the birthday of a governor, a military governor. And that military governor got the journalist arrested and shaved his hair. Tortured him and shaved his hair.
With bottle.
Huh?
Yeah, with bottle. Not even...
with bottle?
Yes.
Just to punish him for the audacity of publishing a negative story on his...
He's a first-class traditional ruler in Rivers State. Yes.
I don't even know if he's still alive.
No, he's Spiff.
Yes, I've not read about him a lot. Yeah, he was young then.
He was young.
And a lot of them were young, so they were even prone to misbehaving. Now, I personally, Bagauda Kalto was my colleague. We were in the north together, and we were in the northern bureau of the news. He was good at getting good stories. He may not have the time to write, right? Some of us were interested in writing lengthy stuff and all that, but in terms of getting stories, snippets, he was the master. He shone like neon lights as reporter in Punch, and then he was recruited for the news magazine. We had such an excellent team at inception. He was wasted by the military. He was a victim of military rule. Today, that press center in Alausa is named after him by President Tinubu, when he was governor of Lagos because he realized the role that he played. There are other people lying against people that they planned coup. They will now, anybody that they don't like, they will put their names on the list of coup plotters. There were at least 2 fake coups that I witnessed. Coup that didn't happen. And people were arrested, sentenced to death. That of Vatsa. Remember what the former chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dr. Bali, I had an exclusive interview with him. The only interview he granted. And he said that when they were looking at the facts of the Vatsa coup, that they didn't see evidence.
Mama Vatsa.
But was Vatsa not executed?
It was.
So you think one little boy will look into the camera, abuse a president? Some of the freedoms that people enjoy now, calling Tinubu idiot, calling him all kinds of names, you get away with it? A lot of people, a lot of journalists fled into exile. My own bosses could not even stay to work here. And the people who dared to work, many paid with their lives. So all these little boys and girls talking about military, they don't even know what they are saying.
You remember what happened in The Guardian?
Yes, Irabo, what's the other person? Tunde Thompson. They were just through the instrumentality of Decree 4 by Babangida, by Buhari. Because what the military first do, once they take over power, they suspend the constitution. So if the constitution guarantees you all kinds of rights, it's been taken away. So they rule with martial law, which permits them to seize you and then take you wherever. Look at great journalists like this woman who was first NTA's National Assembly correspondent, Chris Anyanwu. What did Chris Anyanwu plan coup? And she was jailed for coup. Once they pick someone, you are close to that person, jail. People don't know what it is, or how beautiful freedom is until they've lost it. But we are not going to allow them, those of us who have seen the worst of military rule, we are not going to allow them to control this narrative. They can go and set up their own country where, if they like, they can invite the military to come and take over. Even in African countries, we know what the military did. If you are deemed disloyal, even as an officer,
right,
the next thing they will put your name down that you planned a coup. They win many lives. Colonel Ajayi is dead now. The torture that he went through. It lied again. Obasanjo was accused of planning a coup. He never planned any coup. Lies. And you sentence people to jail down to death for something that never happened. How did Obasanjo plan a coup?
So in other words, coups are not good, not only for social development or otherwise. It's not good totally.
Where people take away your freedom. You enjoy the comfort of your home. Your wife, your husband is there, your children, you see them daily. Do you know many times in the company of your wife, they will seize you, take you away. Your wife will be the one running around. You won't even know where you are kept. People like Omenka, the man who popularized the phrase, "I will waste you," who now fled Nigeria after the military civilian rule came. Do you know how many people Omenka killed in DMI? These are stories. If we want to talk about, we can do a whole program for people to know that military rule is not something to even think about.
Right.
It's only the unthinking and the ignorant who will open his mouth and ask for military rule. Even soldiers, they know the military will destroy the military. It introduced politics to the military. And many officers lost their commission, they lost their lives. If not for military rule, a brilliant career that Colonel Dangiwa Umar had for speaking the truth about June 12, you know what happened to him. Maybe you didn't, but he should know. So this is the thing.
Yeah.
We can't encourage people And this, I'm happy that the military has said, no, we are not thinking about it. This is what happens. Civilians will push the military, come and take over power. Somewhere they lose election, because things didn't go their way, they will be the ones to go and tell the military, come and take over now. You are the best things in sliced bread. Come and take over. We are the ones, civilians are usually the people who go to drag these people out of their barracks. But some of them eventually pay with their lives. If not for military rule, I'm sure Abiola will probably still be alive now, because many of his mates are still alive.
Tiken,
Yeah.
looking at this situation, it all stems from misinformation, which is spreading fastly, quickly via social media.
Yes.
How
Fake
can
news,
this?
not fake news.
Well, fake news. Yeah. So how can this be, let's say, gagged? Not really gagged. How can this be controlled?
My worry is that what is behind this? As you said, it has been consistent. This is not the first time. At least in the last 1 month or 2 months, the military have come out to say that, no, about twice now, to refute that. There may be some fifth columnists, as it were. They are trolling this narrative up and trying to ginger certain people within the military to do otherwise. And as Bike said, the worst civilian regime is better than the best military regime. Military regime across the globe is an aberration. Go and see countries where, even those that were jubilating in Niger the other day, when the military took over, go and ask them now. Go and ask them, those in Niger. They have started, those in Guinea, those in Burkina Faso, go and ask them how they are faring. You know, time they came in, all of them were jubilating and running everywhere. Go there and ask them. You know, and that worries me. Part of the statement of the military that I liked, if they can follow it through, is that they are going to instigate legal action, certain individuals, and they have identified some already, according to them. Let's see how that pans out. The fact remains that we have problem. There's no denying the fact that Nigeria, we have problem. Nigerians are suffering. We are going serious excruciating pains. That is not news. The fact that Nigerians cannot find food to eat is not an issue. It's not the news that Naira is now about 1,000 to 1,900 to dollar and the rest of them. But if you look at it in totality, the fact is that which would you prefer? A civilian regime where you have your freedom and where you can express yourself, where you can do things that you want to do, irrespective of whatever religion. You always go for a civilian regime any day, anytime. And even at that, the last one that we had, what were the benefits? Give me any any military regime, irrespective of how good, right from 1960 or 1966, when the military started intervening in Nigerian politics. Tell me something good out of what you have been.
Some would argue that they build bridges and every other infrastructure we see.
And civilian didn't they bring bridges?
This
one that we're talking about, people that are not building this one in Lagos, I will not be. Didn't you see the one Ambo they built the one at the airport? That airport, the one at that airport. To go and check that airport from international airport to Oshodi, the most beautiful in Lagos. Is it not civilian that built it? What are we talking about?
Then do Oshodi.
Later change now. Who do am now? You know, see the one where we get bid for this thing. Even my own of you.
If you go to Kano, go to a place called Hotoro in Kano. Go and see the interchange, the most beautiful interchange in our country that Ganduje, the former governor, built. It's like you are looking at an octopus. The changes, what they did.
Let me tell you, the road. The road that has been fixed from Lagos to Ibadan. Now the road have been bad. It has been fixed. It can make Ibadan from Lagos for less than 1 hour now. Is it military? Let us leave all those things. The fact remains that some people just want to bring some level of discontent within the policy, and they are building. And yes, and
the Ibadan expressway.
No, I said repairs, not the beauty. I'm talking of the repairs. You know, and they try to whip sentiment and try to build moods of the people. I don't think yes, they try to build. That's what they're trying to do. The mood of the people and try to now galvanize them into resting. But it will not. But while we are saying that, let me also use the words of Chinua Achebe in his book, Things Fall Apart. He said, while we are chasing away the hawk, let us also talk to the hen. I hope you understand what I mean. Let us also talk to politicians to behave themselves. Let our politicians behave themselves And I continue to say it from 1966 till now. Our politicians have not learned anything. When we left the studio last week, BK, I was telling BK of somebody that used to the clothes. BK, remember the word I was talking about? that the clothes, the guy where was about over. Let our politicians, people are suffering. Let them know that the millions and millions and millions that they continue siphoning on the billions of this thing.
Even when we say that, military too, still.
Then of course, yeah.
We've not had any leader that stole money like Abacha. Even despite the fact that they came together, they settled out of court, and they considered money to Obasanjo regime that time. Till today, in spite of that, and the government gave some of the money to them, not less than $2 billion or so. Okay, you take. We are still recovering Abacha loot. Was that not a military?
We are not recovering.
Well,
We are receiving. We are receiving.
Anytime we are broke.
We are broke.
We'll continue with this conversation. We'll not end this program this evening, but I can imagine how much you have. We have a lot to say regarding this. But thank you so much, my guests in the studio.
And by that only no me kunisi wene sola ni ai neme di teacher ni rawo ona nugonu ye ya bi umunna inde ko waga sini rawo nke de ki bia baki feel ki ku basta maka ya bi fe na buni fa neme na di no man drop or comment maka na gene ti ku no update de ka si teacher ku na ma le ba na eje ku na ma ro ge mere ju na me gene we ba opi ogbokoro we fa na agbo ya. So I get it different teas, different cookings, different updates. Niro awo. The keno ya bife. Drop all your comments. Give us time to feature. Niro awo di enda nina. All right. Thank you and thank you for joining us once again at Eastern News 24. Okay, Messi and Umunem.